Hi guys, I haven't filmed a get ready with me for this channel for the longest time. I did one on my Spendaholic channel last week with some kind of higher end makeup stuff, but I kind of felt like it was about time I did an autumn themed get ready with me here on my Miss Budget Beauty channel. Now I am trying a different lens. It's not a new lens, it's one I used a lot last year, but I've not really used it very much for this kind of setup because it can only be here. I can't zoom it in or out, and this is like as I could go further away, but I would not be able to focus the lens. So a bit different. This is kind of as far away as I can get, so I can't focus out at any point. But I'm going to see how the quality is. So just consider this a bit of a test. I'm going to use various new things today and some old favourites, but I'm going to start with my Revlon Colorstay, which is probably still my favourite foundation of all time. The colour that I have is Buff, which is 150. I'm going to use, after I've put a little bit on my face, I'm going to use the Real Techniques buffing brush to buff this into my skin, I suppose. But I've been using this a lot recently. Ooh, I need to maybe move slightly so you can see my entire face. I've been using this a lot recently for work and just for times that I know I want my makeup to stay put, and kind of just rediscovering how much I love it, because when you haven't used it for a while, I kind of think, oh yeah, well it was good and it stays and blah blah blah, but lots of other things are just as good and they're just not, you know. I just like this the best. It is definitely my favourite foundation. And I've had a million colours in it, and I think this is finally the right one for me. Especially as I'm going to get even paler in the winter time. I'm just going to take my watch off because I think that rattle is going to get annoying, isn't it? I will warn you, I think I've got one non-budget product in here, but it is my absolute holy grail eyebrow pencil. So I'm not even going to make any excuses for it. It's just a necessity, I'm afraid. And I've tried a lot. Those of you that have been following me for a while will know I have tried my fair share of brow pencils, and this is just my favourite, unbeatable. The concealer I'm going to use is the Instant Age Eraser from Maybelline in Light. And this has been my concealer of choice for ages. I've tried to like other ones. I even tried the Clarins. That's actually quite a lot of concealer. I even tried the Clarins, is it called Instant Light? This one. Instant Concealer, smoothing, long-lasting, revives tired eyes. And I just found that it creased really badly on me. Just didn't do at all what I thought it would do. I don't know, I don't try a tremendous amount of high-end base products. I used to be a real big Benefit girl back in the day, but other than that, kind of overdid it with the concealer there. Other than that, now I'm really happy with kind of foundation and concealer from the drugstore, so I don't really go out of my way to try anything new, but I think that was sent to me for some reason. Something to do with the sponsored post for Clarins. And so obviously I tried it for that. And oh, the powder I'm using is this one. It's the Tony Moly? I forget. Anyway, I'll link it below, but how cute is that compact? I really like this powder. I feel like it gives me a really kind of airbrushed finish. It's so fine. There's just something different about this one to the other ones that I use. But yeah, long story short, don't try a lot of high-end bases. And when I do, they don't tend to massively impress me, which is probably why I don't feel like I want to try anymore. So we're going to go to the brow product, the one. I don't consider MAC to be high-end. I kind of think that MAC is mid-range. If you consider kind of YSL, Chanel, all that jazz, then I think kind of you've got Urban Decay, MAC, maybe Illamasqua, Benefit, although Benefit kind of is on the higher end. That's that kind of mid-range. And it works the same at the drugstore as well. You've got kind of your very, very bargain basement, MUA, Makeup Revolution, Natural Collection, that kind of thing. And then you've got Revlon, Max Factor, L'Oreal. And although they're both classed as budget products, although I have had a telling off in the past for using Revlon products because apparently they're not budget, but I can kind of see where they're coming from because they are on the pricier side from Boots. But you can definitely get a good mixture of price points no matter where you go. It's not kind of drugstore is drugstore, because there's definitely different affordability ranges even in Boots and Superdrug. But this is just my favourite. I love the texture, I love the colour. everything about it I love, and how easy it is to apply. And it is, I've just rubbed off all the stuff, but it's called Fling, and I think it's just called the Brow Definer. And I used to hate this. I loved it, but I used to hate it and not really recommend it because the first one I bought crumbled and it just kept breaking, and it lasted me maybe a month. But this is actually the third one that I've gone through since rediscovering it, and I don't find that I think it lasts at least 2 months. And with the back to MAC, every 5 products that you take back that's empty, you get a free lipstick or an eyeshadow. So I kind of feel like it pays back in that, and it drops the price a little bit, because you're talking £15 for a lipstick. So, you know, I'm just trying to justify that to myself because I love it so much and I can't be without it. Next, I'm going to go in with this Makeup Revolution palette, which is called, it's the I Heart Makeup range. I think it's still part of Makeup Revolution. They sell it on their website, but it's a separate part of the website. But I think it is still Makeup Revolution. It's the I Heart Makeup You're the Best Thing. And it's got 10 matte and 12 shimmer eyeshadows. And I think I'm going to go in with, this one here, first of all over my lid. I'm just completely in love with Makeup Revolution eyeshadows. I never felt like this with MUA. I know that, I mean, we've spoken about it at length on and off camera, but Laura from Laura Loves Beauty has always been like, oh no, I don't need the naked palettes because the MUA one is like, it's better and it's this and it's that. And I'm just like, yes, it's great for the money. I completely agree. Brilliant value palette. However, I could never tell you it was better than Urban Decay. And I'm not saying that the Revolution ones are better than Urban Decay, but I think they're a lot better than the MUA ones. The MUA ones never massively impressed me. Kind of, I was always initially swatching and thinking, wow, this is great. They're a really good dupe for this or that or whatever. But I never used to reach for them. Kind of like out of a filming setting or out of trying to get a cheaper dupe for you guys. I never ever reach for my MUA ones. I don't know why I'm putting so much of this on. I'm just kind of like mindlessly putting this on while I'm talking to you. I'm going to use this one now. I wish they had numbers or names or something. But yeah, I never ever used to reach for the MUA palettes ever, apart from when I was kind of using them in videos and things because people wanted to see tutorials with them, or not tutorials from me really, get ready with me's at best. Or kind of what I thought of things, but I always would reach for my Urban Decay ones over anything else when it came to just kind of getting ready. And I am genuinely using the Revolution ones more than anything else right now. I actually kind of purposely got out my MAC eyeshadows yesterday to do my makeup for work because I just thought if I don't put them out on my vanity I'll never use them and it's such a waste. But hey ho. Really, really like the Makeup Revolution ones. I'm going to use something to blend that. What am I going to use? Maybe this colour. But yeah, I'm raving and raving and raving about Makeup Revolution. If you follow my Twitter, I'm basically just like taking up everyone's feeds with, wow, how amazing is this? I'm not being paid. I'd love them to pay me because I like to talk about things that I like. Oh, I'm using this colour now. But no, I am just recommending them to anyone who will listen. And lots of people have said that they are kind of the same thing as MUA. And I did a little bit of research and it's actually not entirely the case. The guy that created MUA has now created this, but the guy that created MUA is no longer part of MUA. So, I don't know if there was a story behind that. I'm going to use this one underneath my eye, or what, but he doesn't actually work with MUA anymore. He kind of like went off and did this other thing that I consider to be better. I'm just smoking out my under eye a little bit and then I'm going to use something from, can you believe, Revolution. These new eyeliners are absolutely amazing. They're called All Day and Night and they are comparable to Urban Decay's 24/7 liners, if you ask me. The one I'm using now is One Sin Too Many, which is basically just a black. I'm gonna... I never can do this with one hand. I usually have to lift up my lid, but then I ruin my eye makeup. Does anyone else do that? Makes my eyes water. And then I'm going to use this one, which is called Channeling My Inner. I don't know if it's supposed to be anything more than that. I don't think it is, but Channeling My Inner, and it's a bronze colour. And I'm just going to go over. Can't talk and do this at the same time. Outer corner, and use that same brush that has still a little bit of eyeshadow on it and blend it out a little bit. These pencils are my new favourites. Okay. Makes my eyes water to do that. Now we are going to go in with some mascara. This is new mascara to me, completely in love with it. A lot of these products I'm showing you right now may or may not feature in my favourites video coming up. I have the Bourjois Volume 1 Second Mascara, or is it 1 Second Volume Mascara? But I really, really like this one. It kind of reminds me of the L'Oreal, was it called Miss Manga or Manga? I think it was called Miss Manga. I really liked that one as well, but I didn't like the brush on that one, because although it did this whole like separating yet clumping your lashes together, that kind of twiggy 60s mascara look, which I really like, although it did that, the brush was not, it didn't give you quite as much control because it was a bristly brush rather than a plasticky rubbery brush like this one. Whereas this one is a little bit more controlled. And because it's a plastic bristly brush, not only does it give you volume, because the bristles are far apart so you're getting a lot of product on there, but it also gives you length. At this point I try not to get the mascara on to my eyebrows. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to use this George Cream blush next, which the colour is Pomegranate. And this is George as in Asda George. I know, I was surprised too. I knew they did makeup, but wow, look how bold that is. I could just leave it at that, right? This looks totally normal. And every time I use these, I use too much. So we'll see. Luckily, I am still wearing my pyjama bottoms. I can just wipe off the excess on them and put them in the wash. I thought I'd put mascara on my cheeks for a second there. Crisis averted. That never happened. Although I do kind of feel like I wiped off some of my foundation there. Let's just mute that out slightly. This is normal. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit more powder under my eyes because I kind of feel like they didn't catch there. Does anyone else feel like you need a smaller brush for that powder under your eyes? Because I always feel like a big brush doesn't really get it. Okay, the last product I'm going to use is this Bourjois Rouge Edition Velvet in Nude-ist. It's number 7. Really like this one. I don't know why do you feel like you need to lick your lips before you put lipstick on? It doesn't work like that, does it? I love matte lip products. And this one is a great one. Like a lip cream. And again, Laura from Laura Loves Beauty was telling me for the longest time that I had to try this lip product from Bourjois, and just none of the colours stood out to me. They were all peaches or bright reds, and I just didn't want it. And then I saw this one and was like, yes, I think I'll have this one. This is so my colour. And I think this is very autumn. Like I said, I did do another one over on my other channel that was kind of similar. I actually used, again, a cream blush, bizarrely, again neutral eyes, but I went for a matte nude lip instead, very 90s. I'm so into the 90s kind of matte neutrals at the moment. I'm so pleased that they're back in because that's just my favourite kind of look. But yeah, I went for something slightly different here. If you want to see that one, I will link below, as well as all of the products that I use. And I hope you enjoyed this video. The next one will definitely be my favourites. And that's probably all I have to say. So yeah, check out all the links below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!